everyone, Yin here. I'm going to flip through the volume 1 of my 2022 Storyline Chapters book that I recently completed. So this was 2022 Begin, from the Begin story kit that was really lovely. This one also from that kit, and here I documented where each of my family members, where we are at right now. It was nice. This is some excursion that we went, our family, because our government gave us free tickets to visit local attractions. And that's sometime my husband said something really funny. This is what he said, and I documented that. And here I always needed a lot of space for journaling, so I created some spots to write more. I noticed that I actually did a lot of painting in the early part of the year in my book. This is birthday, my son's birthday. They are 3 days apart, and yeah, more painting. I should do that again. I've forgotten about that. I use acrylic paints, so they are not wet, and they do very well on these pages. That was us preparing for Chinese New Year. And then we went on a hike, which was quite tedious. I mean, it was not easy, but it was really good, and we were so happy we made it. Another day of visiting art galleries, and this one is a page on us celebrating Chinese New Year, all the various gatherings, even though back then I think there was still some COVID restrictions. Oh yes, just 5 visitors allowed at that time. And I used the rainbow kit. I think this is the quarterly rainbow kit to create that awesome festive mood. And then this is a Basics of Now page. I like to do these currently, or Basics of Now pages once a month, about there to bring in all the random photos of what's going on in that month, like Project Lifestyle. I used to love it, and so now this is my way of doing that instead of creating a layout, because these are all unrelated photos. I used I think it's sticky paper, like shipping tag sticker paper, to print the words out, because I don't have a silhouette or cutting machine. But I realized that they kind of stuck together, so I'm putting a piece of vellum here just to keep it safe. The photos don't. Somebody asked me whether my photos stick together, but they don't at all. I've never any problem with the photos. I use Canon Luster photo paper, that's right. And this is a day when we went to the newly opened Singapore Chinese Cultural Centre. I loved it because it kind of talked about what it means to be a Chinese Singaporean, and how all our language, traditions, and food and everything has been we've become Singaporean because we live with so many cultures in our country, and it's very unique, and I love that. More days, we went cycling. This is a day when I didn't have a photo, or I actually took a photo of, this is from outside my home, and but the story is about how we were thinking at that time whether we should move from here, and why we decided not to in the end. We seriously considered and tried to go and look at properties, but so this was an important story to document. Currently, I bought a Ninja Foodie cooker, and this was all my experiments with it. I had to find a way to cook quicker because I was working at home all the time then. And this is when I bought a Xiaomi, what do you call this? A automatic vacuum mop kind of thing, and it was really fun. I blew up a picture of it, and yeah, because I was always on the floor at the initial stage trying to figure out where it was gonna go, so that was fun. Technology helping us. Another Basics of Now, and this one I included more journaling below the flags of all these random things that was part of what was going on in our lives. This was a day when we visited this place in Queenstown, Tanglin Hawk, where I grew up, or when I was born. I lived there for about 2 to 3 years, and we heard that they were going to tear the old apartment flats down, so we went to visit. That's me and my mom, so it was a really precious story. The more of us going around over Singapore. And here, this was a time I was prompted by the current events kit that I think Ali gave out in the with the currently kit. Some of the stories in the newspapers that moved or touched me that I want to talk about. This is our friend whose story is truly inspirational and means a lot to us. So I documented more of my journaling here, a lot to say about each of these. So that's where it's documented, and that's another day of visiting art galleries. This was a photo exhibition, awesome, and so I used the vellum to create the sense of mystery that I felt was in the exhibit. And I love this quote from the Sense story kit, so I had to include it there. And this is me about writing my story using the Write story kit. These are my words and my story. I don't usually think of myself as a writer because I think English is not my first language, and I'm not that articulate in it. But I realized I have written a lot, and it is my story, and I have gotten it down. So this was talking about that. And here are more words on my heart right now. That was 1st of May. This was a nice way to document some of that. And this is from the Unexpected Story Kit. I love that big exclamation mark and the smaller ones. So I use the digital kit so I can change the sizes. But these ones were actually fabric, the physical kit. But I only get to print but at least it's flat, which is good for using in the Storyline Chapters notebooks. Yeah, this was about us visiting this Hong Kong miniature exhibit. We had no idea what to expect, but it was so good. It had, I mean, the details, the intricacy, it was like, to me, it was like history, a scrapbook, like a physical scrapbook. They documented so much of how life was like. It was just awesome. So I really enjoyed that. And this was a day when I took leave, met my best friend who came down from Malaysia to Singapore to visit. And yeah, and then I also managed to squeeze in the rest of that day some self-care. I went out and so on. This was using the black and white quarterly scrapbook kit, and there was a hop up on this if you hadn't seen it. And on the last page, I simply included some ephemera, some stuff I picked up that represented some of what was going on in our lives, and that's what I like to do in these books. And that's it. And I've actually tried to put in my week in the life here. You would have seen this already. So I'm trying to make sure I keep to one binder a year. So this is already really full. I think at the max I can squeeze in one more storyline chapter, so that is what I intend to do it. There will only be 2 volumes this year, and then there will be December Daily, which will be outside, and I think I should be able to do it if I set my mind to it. Anyway, thank you, and hope you enjoyed that.